but I have a baptism to be baptized with, giving all praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua B'Shem Rakakwadash. And this video is based off the speaking that we did Saturday. And there was an individual brother in the audience that had asked a question, and the question was concerning himself and his other half. And he said that she's interested in taking the thing, and he explained to her that you shouldn't take the thing, and he showed her the scriptures and so forth. You know, at the end of the day, she's not a believer, and he's in the faith. And he said, can I ask you a deep question? And I said, and I'm sure we can answer it. He actually didn't like the answer that was given to him, but it was the right answer. You know, the scriptures speak about counting the cost. When you come into this thing, whether you come into this thing with your family or you don't have a family, you're just a single man, you come into this thing, that's a lot easier than dealing with family, because you're going to have this division. If she's not a, I'm holding on another tab, 1 Corinthians chapter 7, I may go to it. I said I was going to start with that, which speaks about a man having an unbelieving wife and a wife having an unbelieving husband. There's also another, I believe that's in Peter. I believe it's either 1st or 2nd Peter. I believe it's 1 Peter. I may go into that and somebody can put it in. I'm not going to make this long. But I'm just going to read this precept right here. Luke 12, verse 50. But I have a baptism to be baptized with, and how am I straightened till it be accomplished? 51st verse. Suppose ye that I come to send peace on earth? I tell you nay, but rather division. And remember, the scriptures say, if Satan be divided against Satan, that kingdom cannot stand. If a kingdom is divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And Babylon the Great is evenly divided. Whether you want to use Democrats and Republicans, the left versus the right, the Most High have divided this place. This place is clearly divided, and you hear it all the time in the news. I remember years ago when the president ran, it was, that later that night, it was declared who was the winner. And the winner always won. In politics, it's called plurality, if I'm saying it right. Where you have, there's a term, he won by a landslide, meaning he won so many more votes than the other nominee received. But recently, in recent years, it started with Bush and Al Gore, where it took a month or so, because the votes were so evenly divided, that the Supreme Court had to come in and decide, which that's not part of the democratic process. But that's when I first noticed it, that it took so long for somebody to be declared the president. And like I said, the media says the country is divided as far as right and left is concerned, red and blue. It'll show you a map of the country, and then you'll see red states, and then you'll see blue states right next to it. So from one country from one state to another state, you can be living in a red state and then go to the next state and there's a blue state and there's a whole different mentality. So this place is split. And what did the Lord say? If a kingdom be divided, it shall not stand. So this place is getting ready to go. And the same goes for your family. It says, 51st verse, suppose ye that I am come to send peace on the earth, I tell you nay, but rather division. For from henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided, 3 against 2, and 2 against 3. The father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father. Now, Sarnetta did a video and he said that he's going to take it now. About a year ago, I would say, he had cursed out General Yohana, and he had him on his show, and he was basically saying, how can you say you're going to take this thing, man? Then he even went into the MOTB. He even mentioned that. Because if you listen to Sarnetta, he mentions the MOTB being an actual chip. He believes it. But he believes that this thing is the actual MOTB. We don't believe that. We think this is the forerunner to the actual MOTB. And the MOTB keeps coming up because it's right around the corner. They already got it set, and they got to figure out a way how they're going to present it to the people. And when they present that to the people, I'm going to say this too. So people might say, well, Apostle Tahar, if you're saying that that's not the MOTB, then I can go ahead and take it. Well, if you want to take it, you take it at your own demise, at your own risk. Because you look at that thing as the actual MOTB. Now, if there's something in it where you can literally buy and sell, you know what it is. What they're doing now is, if you don't got it, you can't go into supermarkets, you can't go into sports events. So that is a form of not be. Basically, they're setting up 2 classes of people. But it's happening in the household, and I hear this all the time, man. A brother that might be in the truth, he come to the camp and he said, my whole family got it, or my brothers got it, and my father didn't want it, and my mother got it, and this is a fulfillment of prophecy. This prophecy this is a prophecy that the Lord is making, so it's being fulfilled now. And it's going to get worse. It says, and I'm going to say this, Jake don't know. Jake pretty much is an ostrich with his head stuck in the ground. Because Esau sees what's going on around him. He sees the prices going up. He sees the shelves not being full, and I've seen that. I went into certain places, and there's certain areas where there's nothing on the shelves. But Jake don't see that, and that's why Jake, you're gonna get caught in that trap. And a lot of you Jakes out there, you're gonna take that thing, and then you're gonna take the MOTB, and you're gonna take it. Even Israelites. They know that they're Israelites. They're going to take it because their camp leader is not telling them, look, don't take it. It's going to lead to this and it's going to lead to that. Because they're teaching that the MOTB is something other than what we say it is here at GMS. And then when I see them actually setting up just like they're setting up the stations for this thing, they're going to set up the stations for the other thing. And they're going to intensify as far as taking this new, but like I said, watch and see. Have the mentality that this thing right here is an MOTB. That's a mentality that you're going to take, but we got to watch and see. That's how prophecies work. You watch and see something. Like when Alexander came on the scene, they saw him, they looked in the scriptures and they said, that's the guy. And even one of the high priest told him that he was the guy in the book of Daniel, that Daniel's prophesied about him. And he and Alexander had a dream that he saw the high priest and a company of priests wearing white. That's in the Josephus. And he was studying the law. He knew Hebrew, but he was a Mo at the same time. Let me read the 53rd verse. The father shall be divided against the son, and in that case, the wife shall be divided against the husband. And this question that the brother asked, he wanted to hear something else, and I quoted, well, it was Gabar that read it, Apostle Gabar, and I said, you know where to go right to 1 Corinthians 7 chapter. Speaks about as I said in the beginning of the video, speaks about a man having unbelieving wife, that he's to dwell with her, and a woman having unbelieving husband is to dwell with her. And they need to dwell together. They don't put each other away. And we also mentioned, I believe we mentioned IUIC, because IUIC teaches that if you have when you come into to IUIC as a man and you have a woman, she's got to be a believer or you got to cut her off. Well, that's clearly not scriptural. If you read 1 Corinthians the 7th chapter, that's clearly not scriptural. There's a reason why that was put in there. There was a reason why that was put up in there, man. Because some brothers have believing wives and some brothers don't. So this is a serious matter. It says the father shall be divided against the son, and the son against the father, the mother against the daughter, and the daughter against the mother-in-law against the daughter-in-law, and the daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law. For 54th verse. And he said also to the people, when ye see a cloud rise out of the west, straightway ye say, there cometh a shower, and so it is. So before a shower comes, you can see how the clouds, you can see how the sky darkens. And then you either go in the house, you get your umbrella out. Well, now we have weathermen. They tell you it's going to rain 2 days from now. But in the ancient world, you didn't have weathermen. You just looked up into the sky and said, yeah, it looks like it's going to rain. And when ye see the south wind blow, ye say, there will be heat, and it cometh to pass. Ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky and of the earth, but how is it that ye do not discern this time? What time is he talking about? He was talking about two major prophecies when he was on the earth. He was talking about 70 AD, and he was also talking about now, the time that we're living in. 70 AD was a major time because a lot of Israelites were put to death. So the ones that were put to death, they didn't know. They stayed in Israel. And the Lord told them, when you see the abomination that maketh desolate, then flee into the mountains, meaning get out. Don't grab nothing out the house, just get out. It was talking about 70 AD. You got guys, even some of them guys in GMS, I got to get it straight. When you go into Matthew 24, Luke 21, Mark 13, mainly focusing on Matthew 24 and Luke 21. It was talking about one verse was talking about 70 AD. Then the next two verses down would be talking about what's taking place right now. Because I remember one brother taught, but he was in sincerity. He wasn't trying to, he just read it. He was reading it, and when he was I believe it was Matthew 24. This was years ago, and I did a video on it where he said everything that he read, it was talking about now. It's talking about now. He was reading certain precepts that applied to 70 AD, but he was saying, like the precept where it said flee into the mountains, he said there's going to come a time where we're going to have to flee into the mountains. And then it says, woe unto thee that have children that give suck in those days. That ain't talking about now. That was talking about then, because if you and your house is going to be saved, if you have an infant baby, that baby's going to be beamed up right along with the wife, right along with the husband, the mother, and the father, and whatever children you have, man. And those are children under 12 years old and under. Little ones. Ain't talking about a 19-year-old or 20-year-old. Train a child in the way he ought to go, and in his old age or in his age he shall not depart from that way. I'm merely paraphrasing. Somebody could put it in. I'm not going to go to it. But now we're in the time of prophecies coming to pass. We're in a serious time. And Jake don't have no idea. They should at least consider when they watch our videos. There's a reason why we're all over the place. Not just GMS, but the other camps. But they gotta get everything right. They gotta get everything right. Because you may not make it teaching that bullshit that you're teaching, man. The MOTB is what we say it is. Anyway, I told the brother pray on it, and work with your wife. That she don't take it, because if she does, she's gonna find out the hard way. Remember Lot's wife. Anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.